Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the MeanGene Show. It is a Saturday, July 24th, 2021, and I am in studio here in Las Vegas. Hope you are enjoying your Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening. First of all, I want to say happy birthday to my youngest son, Justin Thompson. He is 33 years old, and oh my goodness, I remember 33. It was a long time ago. That's what I want to say. And I'm also joined in studio by my producer, Mark. Mark, hey, what's going on, Mark?
Hey, just staying up late with you tonight, big man.
Hey, look here. I know we don't get to do this often, right? So, I try to make it real simple. And it's always good to see you, man.
Absolutely. It's good to see you, too. Hope you had a nice limo ride over here.
Well, actually, see, the limo stops when it drops me off at the hotel. And then they give me the number to Uber.
Well, sorry. I mean, you didn't call me, though, so it's all good.
I know, man. But, hey, we got a great show planned for Las Vegas tonight. As a matter of fact, later on in the show, I have Raelee, Caddenhead, and the MeanGene Show contributor, Jacob Meadows, is going to give us a call and talk about their Pro Football Hall of Fame experience this week. It was the class of 2020, class of 2021 Pro Football Hall of Famers. They met with the media this week. And as you know, the big Pro Football Hall of Fame ceremonies is going to take place August 6th, 7th, and 8th in a couple of weeks. And the MeanGene Show, we will be right there. So we look forward to bringing you all of that coverage. The MeanGene Show is brought to you by Presidential Limousine by Captain. It's the official limousine service of the MeanGene Show. There's absolutely no way you could experience Las Vegas until you ride in a presidential limousine by Captain. So if you're coming to Vegas, make your reservations now by calling 702-438-5466, or you can simply text them, 702-410-6057. They will respond to you right away. The show is also brought to you by the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. Experience the award-winning Soul of Motown. It's a high-energy concert-style musical tribute celebrating Motown legends. This is a must-see show during your Las Vegas vacation getaway. For reservations, call 888-796-3564. So, now, tonight, originally here in Las Vegas, was supposed to be the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight. That fight was going to bring the WBC Heavyweight Championship together again. That fight was postponed, it was postponed for COVID-19 reasons. I am being told that fight will be rescheduled for October 9th. That is the target date anyway, so we will see. And I know that a lot of people came to Vegas this weekend for that fight, so I don't really know what they did with the reservations, hotel reservations, and all of that stuff. As far as ticket sales, I think they refunded all of the tickets to those people. But hotels are kind of funny when it comes to trying to cancel your reservations. Once they have your money, they got it. Come to Vegas, enjoy yourselves. You always find something to do, even if there's no fight. But anyway, that should be a great fight because the first one was interesting. Fury won that fight, so we're going to see if Wilder and his camp has things together. So the battle between the big men is now set for October 9th at T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. So make sure you stay on top of that. Congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I'm going to brag for a minute because I deserve the right to pump my chest here because the entire media world, including ESPN, and I'm going to rag on them for a little bit, I mean, they pretty much had the Phoenix Suns winning the NBA Finals. And I know Las Vegas is only a couple of hours away from Phoenix. A lot of Phoenix Suns fans probably live within the listening area here of KDWN. I'm sorry. I mean, nothing against the Phoenix Suns. I think what they did this year was marvelous. I mean, they beat the Lakers. They beat the Clippers. I mean, they beat everybody they needed to beat to get to the NBA Finals. But why everyone went to sleep on Milwaukee, I don't know. As you can recall, a few weeks ago, we had one of the assistant coaches on the show, Chad Forcier, and I look forward to bringing him back on because now he is an NBA champion and got a chance to see him on TV championship night when they were pouring the champagne and just having a great time there in Milwaukee. If you recall, I went up to Milwaukee for Game 4 of that playoff matchup between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets. So I actually got a chance to see both teams that was in the finals. The Clippers, I saw the Lakers and the Clippers. The Clippers, not the Lakers and the Clippers, but the Clippers, the Bucks. I'm sorry, let me get this right. The Suns and the Lakers when the Suns defeated the Lakers in Game 4, and then I saw the Bucks when they defeated the Brooklyn Nets in Game 4. But anyway, congratulations. Okay, back to ESPN and the networks and the craziness that went on with that. First of all, I understand Chris Paul, a very great basketball player. We can't take anything away from Chris Paul. He's been in the league for 16 years. He's a leader. Some of his antics on the floor, I don't agree with. But the Milwaukee Bucks is just one of those teams. They really just start out kind of slow, and throughout each series, they get better. You saw it with the Brooklyn Nets. You saw it with Miami. You saw it with the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, they're not one of those teams that, paper it looks like they can come out and just beat you, but they get better with the game and as the series go on. But you got to give it to them. Look, the Phoenix Suns won the first 2 games in Phoenix, and everyone was ready to crown them as the NBA champions. And then guess what? They went on to lose the next 4 freaking games. So. The Milwaukee Bucks have been knocking on the door. Things just really panned out for them, with the Brooklyn Nets going down to injuries, with James Harden and Kyrie Irving and all of those guys, and then Philadelphia getting pounced out of the playoffs by Atlanta. You just got to take advantage of an opportunity when it's there for you, and they did so, and I was really proud of them, for that reason, and the fact that Giannis, the Greek Freak, decided to sign that big contract to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks, some $220 million. He could have went anywhere. He could have joined anybody with these super teams and all of that great stuff, but he didn't. He stayed right there in Milwaukee. Milwaukee added a couple more pieces with P.J. Tucker. They brought in Drew Holiday and Coach Mike Budenholzer. They made it work. So, they just did it the old-fashioned way. And the Phoenix Suns, too, had they won the championship, they also would have had a good story because they built that team also through the draft and bringing in some good picks, free agents like Chris Paul, a leader. So I don't think we have heard the last of the Phoenix Suns, but one thing you have to remember is that the West is going to be even much better next year when you have all of those injured players come back. That includes the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets and all of those guys. They'll come back and they will make things even more interesting. So that window of opportunity is small. Milwaukee took advantage of it. The Clippers took advantage. The Clippers took advantage of it as well, and so did the Jazz, and so did the Phoenix Suns. So congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. They are your 2021 NBA champions, and we hope to get Chad Forcier back on the show. As a matter of fact, when we talk to Raelee, we will see if she's able to bring him on. So I know we're going to be bringing her on here. Mark, has she called in yet? Nope. So Raelee, Caddenhead, who is my assistant, she schedules all of the guests on the show, and she had the opportunity to talk with newly inducted Pro Football Hall of Famer Tom Flores. Tom Flores is a name that should be familiar to Oakland and Las Vegas Raiders fans. Tom Flores won 2 Super Bowls with the Raiders, and it was an absolute pleasure for her to have that conversation with him. So I'm not going to give it away because she's going to explain everything that took place with that conversation with Tom Flores. And also Jacob Meadows, who is a contributor to the show, on the other side of the break, after at the bottom of the hour, we will talk with Jacob. Jacob had an opportunity to talk with another newly inducted Hall of Famer, and that would be John Lynch. So I tell you what, I have been instructed that Raelee is on the phone. So let's go to Raelee. Raelee, how you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all doing?
We are doing good here. You know what? That southern energy that you bring to the show. How y'all doing? We doing good. Me and Mark, we doing good up in here.
Well, thank you.
Well, hey, I was just talking about your fascinating moment with Hall of Fame coach Tom Flores. So why don't you tell us about that and how it went? We actually have that sound bite. I'll tell you what, let's play the sound bite, and then we'll have you talk about that, okay?
Sounds great.
All right, here we go.
Hi, Mr. Flores.
Hi.
Raelee here with KDWN 101.5 FM, 720 AM, the Talk of Las Vegas. First off, I wanted to congratulate you on being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Of course, it's such an honor to get to speak with you today, as I have great respect for you. My question for you is, in taking a walk down memory lane, I can only imagine the memories and hardships that you overcame as a pro footballer, assistant coach, and head coach. If you got the chance to revisit any of those memories, what would they be and why?
Well, God, there's so many memories. I remember our very first day ever in the history of the Raiders in Santa Cruz, California. There were 11 quarterbacks in training camp. 11. We couldn't even all get in one picture. And now, 61 years later, you look back and say, wow, look what we've done in that time. Look how many ups and how many fun times we've had, how many down times we've had, but we've always persevered. Look what this crazy game has grown to. Look at what the Raiders have grown to. And it's hard to imagine when I saw the new stadium in Vegas, your beautiful stadium. I must have said wow 100 times. Wow, wow. Every time I turn around, I said, oh, look at that. We had a little Quonset hut that we practiced in. We had a field that was sinking on one side that if a player ran it down and out, he ran out of sight because the field was so lopsided. So all the things that have happened for the good, and it's a great sport, and the people enjoy it, and got to keep doing it. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders. Thank you. Love it. And congrats again.
You bet.
Phil Jones.
Great stuff there, Raelee. And, I mean, how did it feel to be able to talk to the future Hall of Famer coach of the Oakland and Los Angeles Raiders, Tom Flores?
I mean, it was just an awesome experience, an experience like no other, really. And like I said, I have great respect for the man, and you know, he's come so far from being a player to an assistant head coach to then a head coach, and then winning Super Bowls in all those titles, and then being a radio announcer after that. And I just think with such great talent, it was just an overwhelming blessing that I got to experience being able to speak with him the other day.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Raelee, the ceremony, which is going to take place in a couple of weeks there in Canton, Ohio, the Hall of Fame ceremony is to me it ranks right up there with the Super Bowl, and I always try to tell people, if you ever get a chance, you have to go to Canton, Ohio, because it's if you're a pro football fan, that's the one place where you have to go, because they have every memory that comes to mind once you go to that place. And the fact that Mr. Flores is going to be there, you know, he was the first minority head coach to win a Super Bowl, and it's just fascinating. And I was so glad he was patient. He waited and waited and waited, and I'm just glad they called him in there.
I am too. I think that's such an awesome honor, and especially I think it was about time for them to induct him into that, and I'm very grateful to have spoken with him, and it was very cool to hear his response to my question, taking him back to 1960 when he when he started it all. And he said he went from 11 players, and then it went up to 60 players. And it's so interesting to hear about the history behind any NFL team. And then, of course, he related it back to the fans, and I think he's so right on that, because, I mean, that's the real reason behind any of the NFL. I mean, where would be at without the fans? And, yeah, it was just a great experience to hear him say all that and learn about all the history and how far he's come, and to really understand that that was what he took from all of his experience in the NFL and continuing on still. Is the memories and the fans that was most important to him. And I think that's an awesome thing.
You know what's funny is that the Pro Football Hall of Fame gave some information as far as what to expect. Normally, the speeches that the players give during the induction ceremonies, some of them are long. I think Ray Lewis spoke for almost 45 minutes. So this year, because there's so many, because they combined in both classes, class of 2020 and class of 2021, they sent over a list to the media that said they only have like 6 minutes, I think 6 minutes to 8 minutes to speak. And when you look at how many folks are going to be there, well, the Friday night you got, I think they got 12 people speaking Friday night, if I'm not mistaken. I got it right there in front of me. Hold on a minute. So you got 12 people will speak on Saturday night, August 7th, and then on Sunday you have 7 people. Now, Coach Tom Flores, John Lynch, and Charles Woodson will be on the Sunday because they are the class of 2021. So it's that class of 2020 that is going to be the long one. But, man, could you imagine? And then if they go over, Raelee, they're actually going to play something like the Academy Awards style music cue in case if they go like at the 8-minute mark, they're just going to start playing the music.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, you win some and you lose some, and I wish they had longer to speak because their careers, I'd love to hear more.
Especially, right. For a coach like Tom Flores, looking at over 50, 60 years.
Oh, yeah.
of experience, man. How can you sum all of that up in 6 minutes? Are you kidding me?
You can't. And, but that's why I'm glad I got to experience speaking with him, and then we can, showcase that to all the listeners on KDWN. And, but however, I am thankful that we got to have so many inductees between the past 2 years, because I think that there's some amazing guys still out there that have yet to be inducted, and hopefully we can get as many as we can into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I know. Good job. Hey, and you know what? While I got you on here, I just congratulated the Milwaukee Bucks for winning the NBA Finals, and I brought up Coach Chad Forcier's name here. We have to get him back on the show, Raelee.
Of course, yeah. That how interesting was that to have him? I think it was after the first game, and then, wow.
Yeah, they are NBA champions. So you bring him on the show. We talk to him. As a matter of fact, we're talking to him while he's watching. I think his brother or someone, the Portland Trail Blazers were playing the game. So he was watching the game and talking to me and like, Coach, aren't you supposed to be getting your team ready for the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow or something like that? So the guy is a multitasker, but oh my goodness, I saw him in the locker room getting champagne poured all over him with the rest of the players, and it was like, and then to go up there, Raelee, to have spent that time up there in Milwaukee. So I know what they're talking about, that Deer District. Okay, that place right there. Now, it was no way crowded like it was the other night. But when I was there, there are like 20,000 people in the arena, and then there's probably another 12,000 people just outside because they want to be out there, because that's the atmosphere is just like a college atmosphere.
Yeah, that's definitely an exciting time, and I, for one, love NBA, always have, and it was, like I said, it was such a great honor to be able to speak with him. And then now, he like you said, he's a champion. So we definitely need to get him back on the show and applaud him and the rest of the team for all the hard work that they've done this far, and as well as all the other competing teams. I think it was a very great year, especially with all the stuff everybody's been through the past few years. It definitely some great representation in the NBA and NFL this year.
Absolutely, Raelee. So thank you. I know it is very late in Texas, so we will let you get some rest, and we will talk to you soon, okay?
Thanks, Gene. It was great being on the show again. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Raelee Caddenhead, right here on the MeanGene Show, KDWN 720 AM, 101.5 FM here in Las Vegas. She does some great work here for the MeanGene Show, bringing on all the guests. But in talking with Tom Flores, this was actually a Zoom meeting with these Hall of Famers. So you got the audio portion of it, but she actually, Tom Flores was able to see her, and she was able to see him. So it was an interesting exchange there with the coach. And like I said, it's going to be exciting. But back to the speeches, because it's interesting. So it's actually, they get 6 minutes, right? So they're going to get 6 minutes to talk right now. Some of the and this is why the media Zoom meetings with these guys is probably they have a lot to say now, because they're gonna have to condense everything they've told us down into this 6 minutes. And the first, they always think their families, they think they're some of their coaches, peers, people that they have that made part of their career, but I don't know. I just think they probably could have did a better job. One of the best things I like about the Pro Football Hall of Fame is the speeches. And some of these speeches they would bring you to tears. And the fact that these guys got to be rushed now to 6 minutes, and then, you're going to start hearing the Academy Award music at 8 minutes. And I don't know. I really don't like that. But, hey, that's the Hall, and that's what they want to do, because there's so many. Like I say, on Saturday, August 7th, the full order of speeches here, they gave that to us. Troy Polamalu is going to kick things off, followed by Cliff Harris, Steve Atwater, Paul Tagliabue, the former NFL commissioner, Steve Hutchinson, we talked with him, Donnie Shell, Isaac Bruce, Jimbo Covert, Edgerrin James, Harold Carmichael, Jimmy Johnson, and Bill Cowher. And you get to these coaches got so much to say. I don't know how you're going to restrict Jimmy Johnson, because we had a 30-minute Zoom meeting with these guys, and there was just so many questions that the media had to ask, and they were still hands up, wanting to ask questions of these guys, and they will get their opportunities to talk. There's going to be a round table that we won't be privy to, and the fans won't be privy to. But, they'll get a chance to talk to some other Hall of Famers. These guys will get a chance to say everything that they want to say. They just won't be able to say it all in that 6 minutes that they're going to have to put out their best in 6 minutes. I don't even know if they're going to cry in 6 minutes. You can't even, those speeches, you don't start shedding a tear until somewhere halfway in between, those speeches. So they're going to have to really be quick with that. So anyway, speaking of being quick, we are going to get to the bottom of we are at the bottom of the hour. When we come back, we are going to continue on with some of our Pro Football Hall of Fame here. You are listening to the MeanGene Show right here on KDWN, 720 AM, 101.5 FM, Las Vegas. All right, we are back here, and it's the second half of the show with your host, MeanGene. Jacob Meadows is going to join us a little bit later to share his conversation with newly inducted Pro Football Hall of Famer John Lynch. John Lynch is the general manager of the San Francisco 49ers and doing some pretty good things with the 49ers. And, man, you're talking about a great football player. Enjoyed watching his games when he played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, I was just talking with my producer, Mark, during the break, and just seem to get over this 6 minutes here. This is going to be interesting. We talk about these, coaches, these legends, Jimmy Johnson, Bill Cowher, the great Tom Flores. I mean, these guys got so much to say in their careers, and it's just a shame that what the Pro Football Hall of Fame is doing. And, I don't know if it's TV time or whatever it is, because I do believe it's going to be I think it's going to be the NFL Network that's going to cover this. So anyway, we'll talk more about this, and who knows? In a couple of weeks, it could change, because I just got to think we're not the only ones crying wolf about this. But anyway, I believe Jacob is going to be joining us right now. So let's go ahead and take it to the MeanGene Show contributor, Jacob Meadows, here on the MeanGene Show. Hey, Jacob.
Hey, good evening, MeanGene. How are you, brother?
Well, Jacob, I got a lot of energy, and I know it's very late where you are, but hey, I know you have been waiting for this moment here as we continue our coverage of the upcoming Pro Football Hall of Fame ceremonies in Canton, Ohio, in a couple of weeks. You had an opportunity to talk to not only, you didn't represent the MeanGene Show as a contributor. You did it as a fan too. And I tell you what, we're gonna play the soundbite of your interview with John Lynch, and then we're gonna talk about it. So here's the interview.
Jacob Meadows with KDWN 720 AM Las Vegas. Looking back on your illustrious career, between the Bucs and the Broncos, you dealt with a whole lot. But over the last half a decade or so, leading up to now, you're one of the best. You're staring down the barrel of being one of the best GMs in terms of player and team development. Looking back at your illustrious career and everything that you accomplished throughout your actual career as a player, is there anything that stands out among other things that has led to you being so great at player and team development, from hiring Kyle Shanahan, one of the greatest offensive minds in the game, to just overall being able to do what you've done with the 49ers organization?
Well, I appreciate your kind words, but I'd say I've got a long way to go to reach kind of the levels you're talking about. Got to win a championship, and then hopefully build some. We are proud of what we've built. I came in with Kyle, didn't hire him. We came in together. I do think I know people who know football, who I believe in, and something, the draw was the organization and the opportunity to work with someone like Kyle, who we kind of jived. We saw football in a very similar light. And so he would tell you the same thing. We've got some work to do. We believe very much in our team, but you got to win championships to be known, for to build the legacy. And we understand that. And we're at an organization where that's very much the expectation and the history. We walk by Lombardi's every day. And so that's what we're shooting for. I think, anything I do well, I mentioned earlier, being a product of my experiences. And then, one thing I'll be eternally grateful. My parents, instilled a tremendous work ethic in me and my siblings. And anything we did, we were expected to do to the highest degree of effort. That's what you can control, and I've always believed in that. And I believe very much in the idea of working together as a team, empowering people, surrounding yourself with talented people, and empowering them to do their work. And so anything I've been able to do, it's for those reasons, and that's it.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, man. Hey, go 49ers Nation. You were a hero to me growing up. Thank you for taking the time to answer the question.
Thank you.
Jacob. Hey, man, you had to throw that in there, man. I am so proud of you, Jacob. You did a great job.
Oh, man, I really appreciate it. It was a really cool experience, man. It turns out John Lynch is just a normal guy like you and I. I mean, if I could go back, I would not say the word illustrious twice. But other than that, there's nothing else I would change. It was a really cool experience, man.
Hey, and Raelee, we talked with Raelee in the first half hour of the show, and then I've been talking with my producer, Mark, here, with the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The format has changed now. I do like the fact that they have gotten so many inductees in. They are finding ways to get a lot of people in. So to wait for some of these folks that's been out there for a while, like the TOs of the world back in the day, Chris Carter's, they wouldn't have to wait now under the new formatting of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But looking at what's going to happen with these speeches here, you got the class of 2020, the class of 2020, which is 12 people. They are going to speak on Saturday night, August 7th, and John Lynch just happens to be in that class of 2021 who will get to speak on that Sunday night. But they have shaved the time limits down to 6 minutes. Jacob, what do you think about that?
I'm a fan of the Hall of Fame speeches, so I understand it to a point. You know, they're shaving it down so that they can fast track more players in, so that you don't have the backlog of great players that we've had over the years waiting to get into the Hall of Fame. But I do think it kind of takes away from the overall ceremony just a little bit, limiting the players to a little bit more than what they're used to. You know, by cutting the speech down, it's important. The Hall cares about what the players have to say. The Hall cares that, the players have so much to get off their chest about what has led up to this amazing moment. But it does feel like it takes a little bit of the magic off the top.
Yeah, it does. It does. And you know what? And listening to that interview, and there were so many people from the media that had questions of John Lynch, but just to hear him, I think he even gave some credit to John Gruden. That was his coach that he won that Super Bowl with back in what was it, 2002, 2003, something like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat.
Pretty good stuff there. So what else did you take away from just your overall experience of John Lynch and his Hall of Fame induction?
I think he's a lot more of a humble guy than I guess I kind of expected, which it sounds a little bad to say it out loud, but, being all the star power that he might have, it was kind of neat how humble of a guy he actually ended up being throughout. But I learned that it really was just through sheer grit and determination that he was able to, punch out so many years in the league. And it really is like a whole lot of all of the individual lessons and what have you that he may have learned on his come up through the league that really has shaped his management style now. I mean, he's had so many sources to pull from, but at the very end of the day, a lot of what he took away from his playing days really has gone into his leadership role with the 49ers.
And I when you look at great defenses from a lot of teams that have won Super Bowls, a lot of the key players from those teams are in the Hall of Fame. I'm thinking back now that when I was in Canton, Ohio, the last time when Warren Sapp was inducted into the Hall, I met John Lynch then. And then here, and Derek Brooks, he was also part of that defense back then with the Buccaneers. He's in the Hall of Fame now. John Lynch is in, and it just goes to show when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, that Steel Curtain defense. Most of all of those defensive players are in. If Donnie Shell's getting in on this term, but it just seems like if you had a great team with some great defenders, and if you won the Super Bowl, your chances. And if you were an impactful player, your chances of getting in the Hall of Fame are pretty good. Would you say, Jacob?
Oh yeah, especially now. That was one of the things that John Lynch hit on during the interview. Not mine, but another one of the media members. Yeah, absolutely,
great stuff here. Well, hey, Jacob, man, we are going to let you go, man. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts and opinions of John Lynch.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, MeanGene. It was a pleasure as always.
All right, folks. Once again, Jacob Meadows, the MeanGene Show contributor here, joining us on a Saturday night here in Las Vegas, talking about the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So, yeah, there seems to be a pattern there with great teams, great defenses, impactful players. You will have a chance to get to the Hall of Fame. We took a picture. I'm trying to think. It was in Phoenix, Arizona. what Super Bowl was that? I believe it's Super Bowl 50. That had to have been I want to say the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots, I want to say, right? And had a chance to meet the great Derek Brooks there, another a teammate of John Lynch, by the way, who is now in the Hall of Fame. So good stuff. So a little bit later, I have a soundbite from Charles Woodson. Now, Charles Woodson, played with the Raiders, and that's a name that's very, very near and dear to Raider fans. And now, and just going back to the 6 minutes here, the speech, Charles Woodson, of all of the players that we met with during the Zoom meetings, he had the longest session. So, I mean, he just kept talking on and on and on and on and on. And then, I guess we will get ready to play this for Mark, because it's going to just lead up to what I'm talking about. So, probably the best question of the day, because it was one of the questions a member of the media asked of Charles Woodson, and it was the emotions that he felt after being contacted by the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And here's what Charles Woodson had to say.
Emotions, the day that they surprised you at your home, it was wonderful to see. But how difficult was it for you to kind of keep all of that in check? Your family there, your kids there, and the cameras there and everything else.
Yeah, well, you see, it was pretty hard, man, because I couldn't hold it together. It's funny because, you kind of talk to yourself, before those moments come, and you say, hey, I'm going to keep it together. I'm not going to cry, blah, blah, blah. And so when it, the moment actually happened, when the moment's real, it's real. And really there ain't no turning back from that standpoint. And so when, David Baker comes up and, you know what that all means, it kind of hits you. And then when I turned around and I saw my 2 boys, my wife and my mom standing there, you just, in your mind, you immediately start running back all of the time spent, at your craft and being able to get to that moment and what it takes to get there. And then all of a sudden that moment comes where they say, hey, what you've done means something, that was incredible. So yeah, I tried to hold it back, but you know what, when the emotions are real and they're raw, there's really nothing you could do. You kind of got to let the tears flow. And in that video, I made mention that I felt like I had been, running, all of my life, whatever, whether it was football, basketball, baseball, the many years in, college and the NFL, I felt like I've been running a long time. And at that moment, I was like, man, I don't really have to run no more. But I remember telling, David Baker, I feel like running like one last time. And as soon as he left my house, man, I put some clothes on, man. And I went and ran like 1.5 miles, 2 miles, man. I just had to get that last one out the way. That was my last one, before I went, or before I go into the Hall of Fame. So it's a great feeling. And it was, pretty cool that my boys kind of got to see those emotions because, afterwards they're looking at me like, man, we never seen you cry. What were you crying for? So they don't really truly understand yet what it is to kind of go through something, man, and to fight for something and for that to actually happen for you. So, one day maybe when they're in their 30s and 40s and, they've actually been through some things, they'll understand why Dad was crying.
Yeah, that's good stuff, and that's just goes along with everything we've talked about tonight on the show. The fact that the emotions and when these guys get up there and give their speeches and everything. So the fact that Charles Woodson can just get up and run for 2 miles it tells you what shape he's in today, and I can tell you right now he's in pretty good shape. Look like he can still suit up for the Raiders, and it would be interesting if we have a player. I don't think it's ever happened if a player is in the Hall of Fame and somebody wanted him to come back and play, because if that was to happen, Charles Woodson could be that player. He is in great shape, but he gave the longest press conference which means he's probably going to have the shortest speech. He's probably going to have difficulty with his speech. I remember also in 2013 when I was in Canton, Ohio, and I spent a lot of time with Pro Football Hall of Famer Larry Allen. Larry Allen played for the Dallas Cowboys, and so I sort of made a good friendship with him because everyone was off talking to some of the other great inductees, and me and Larry just had a moment alone to sit there and talk, and I talked about his speech, and I said, "Hey, Larry, have you wrote your speech yet?" And I remember him saying, I haven't worked on it, or I haven't completed it, but I got it somewhat together. And then I asked him the question about, are you going to cry? And he says, no, I think I'm going to keep it together. And then so the night of the ceremony, I see Larry comes out there on stage, and he's wearing these dark sunglasses. So I already knew he had been crying then. And then once he got up there and gave his speech, he cried. So it's just, that's the Hall of Fame. That's what it is. So, I mean, those guys, they may not be able to show that much emotion in the 6 minutes or 8 minutes, whatever the Hall is going to give them. But I can guarantee you we're going to see it over the next couple of weeks. We're already seeing it in some of the interviews that we're having with these Hall of Famers. They are starting to just let it be known, and I mean, it's just real. It's real feelings, and these guys, all of them are deserving of this event. So I want to share with you what's going to happen on that Friday night, August 6th. And this is something that I've never had a chance to participate with. Once the Pro Football Hall of Fame gave the yay and nay to people who they are going to allow to attend, I'm talking about the media. So I will be part of the gold jacket ceremony. Now, this is the moment where, they've actually, been fitted for their jackets and all of that stuff. But this is the night. It's a dinner. It's a dinner that's going to be outside. And then once after that, we all go inside the Civic Center. And then all of the Hall of Famers for the 2021 and class of 2020, they will be given their gold jackets. And then it's almost like a fashion show, right? So they get their gold jackets, and then they walk across the stage, and they sort of, like model these jackets off, in front of the media and the people that are invited to attend this dinner. And it's a pretty pricey dinner too. So I'm glad I'm going for free. Thanks to the radio station. It's just some of the perks that comes along with doing these things, but it's going to be great because I never had a chance to go to the gold jacket ceremony. Now, this is the one that you'll be able to see on the NFL Network. I think Rich Eisen is the host. He's the MC for this event, so he will call the names of the players. They will get their jacket put on them, and you'll see David Baker there, the guy that knocks on the door and tells these guys they're in the Hall of Fame. But this is when they just walk across. They wear that jacket, and that's the jacket you will always see them in wherever they are going to be making football appearances. That gold jacket, that's the jacket. That jacket feels good too. It's I can't even describe what the material, but it's not a jacket you're gonna be able to buy anywhere. It is a nice Hall of Fame gold jacket. So that gold jacket ceremony is going to be great. Let's see here. Well, I tell you what, we'll have more coverage next week on the Hall of Fame, but I do want to get to a couple of more topics before we end the show tonight. How about USA basketball now? USA basketball, they had a scare in the exhibition games getting ready. Folks here in Las Vegas got a chance to see two nightmarish games with Nigeria and I can't remember the other team. Australia? Okay, they just two nightmare games, right? So nothing to be worried about, but it was everything to be worried about, right? So now the USA basketball, the Olympics have officially kicked off, and it looks like USA basketball is going to play France, if I'm not mistaken, and that's going to be tomorrow. They are in group. There's three preliminary round groups, and the men's are in Group A, and they are in a group with Czech Republic, France, Iran. So they're going to play France tomorrow. And then I believe they're going to play Iran on Tuesday or Wednesday. I want to say Wednesday. So now the Czech Republic has already won a game. Okay, so that's going to be interesting. Group B is Australia, Germany, Italy, and Nigeria again. Okay, so that should be interesting, right? Group C is Argentina, Japan, Slovenia, and Spain. So, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as saying the USA is just going to sweep this. They should. They have reinforcements now, and the team got stronger once the NBA Finals were completed. They have now Drew Holiday, Devin Booker, and I think Chris Middleton. So that should help them a little bit. I mean, they still have a star. You know, you can have all these stars on the team, but it's just like with any team. You can get these stars together, and it's just street ball until they have some sort of organized structure plan of attack on how they're going to play these guys. And, you know, they got the greatest coaches out there and the greatest NBA players. And Greg Popovich, what can we say about Coach Pop other than don't ever ask that man a stupid question if you're a member of the media? I have seen Greg Popovich chew people's head and spit them out at the same time. I remember one time in Los Angeles, it was after a Spurs-Clippers game, a reporter asked Greg Popovich a dumb question, and I was getting ready to ask my question, but after I saw how he treated that guy, I just said, never mind, to my question. And, I was trying to console the guy next to me because he was the one that got chewed out by Popovich. Popovich doesn't play. This guy knows what he's doing. And I do predict that the USA men's basketball team should have no problems with winning the gold medal. But it's getting tough because, I mentioned these other countries, Australia, Germany, Nigeria, Argentina. Well, guess what? We have so many foreign basketball players in the NBA now. So what have we done? We have made them better so they can go back when they play for their country. Well, they're going to be better. I mean, and the NBA allows that, which is great. I mean, these guys can come over and play great basketball, and that's why it's tough. It's not so much to do with that the USA is not prepared. Now, back during the old Dream Team days with Karl Malone and Magic and Bird, there were no better players than those guys, regardless. And we didn't have, if we had any, we didn't have many foreign players back in those early Dream Team days. So the NBA has changed now. It's more of a world basketball league, and that's what happens when you open it up to the world. And then the world turns out to beat you. And then, so that means you got to get better. But the style of play that the NBA is playing now, which is, a lot of pick and rolls and a lot of ISO, that's not going to work against these other countries. These other countries play just, straight up good basketball. They play the basketball the way it's supposed to be. You move it around. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions, all of them are important. You're not going to see a lot of 5 positions out there shooting 3-pointers. They play basketball the way it was supposed to be played. So that's something you probably want to look for in these Olympics. So hey, want to thank Jacob Meadows for coming on tonight, and Raelee, Caddenhead, and Mark, as always, the producer here. Mark makes everybody looks good. This stuff here. We're not magicians here. We can't just say, press a button. I just imagine if we had to do our own shows here, it'd be a nightmare. Nobody would listen to us. You got to have a magician back there making things happen. So we'll come back next week, folks, and we'll do this again. We'll have more Olympic coverage to talk about. We'll have more Olympic coverage to see as far as what's going on. And you know what? And of course, now I didn't forget about the women. The women's basketball team, they are also playing here, and I know that they're going to be playing. The women's are going to be playing. I think they're going to be playing Tuesday, so they are expected to win the Olympic gold. So that should happen. So, all right. Hey, I want you to enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe in whatever you do, and we'll come back here next week here with a hopefully we have some great guests here. I think we're going to try to get Chad Forcier here back on. So enjoy your weekend, Las Vegas. You have been listening to the MeanGene Show right here on KDWN, 720 AM, 101.5 FM, Las Vegas.